Hello everyone, my name is Angela Pena and today I'm going to be presenting my demo class for course EING 6577 taught by Professor Layla Coolon. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about my thematic unit, then I'm going to talk about my demo class so that we can have like a broader picture, okay? So my thematic unit is titled Gender Roles and Cultural Expectations through Jamaica Kincaid's Girl. And this unit is focused on 10th grade students. They're from a private school, they have an intermediate level, and the thematic unit consists of 5 classes of 45 minutes each. They will all have throughout the week pre-reading, during reading, and after reading activities in which they will work on all language skills, meaning reading, writing, listening, speaking, and language skills. These are all aligned with the Department of Education standards, and so I'm gonna read them over. For listening is the 10LS11D, which is listen to a variety of literature genres, plays, poetry, and others, and styles to analyze character development, setting, tone, voice, and mood, and make connections to the text. For speaking is the 10LS21, which is to contribute to class, group, and partner discussions, sustain conversations on a variety of appropriate and relevant academic, social, college, and career topics by following turn-taking rules and asking and answering on-topic questions. React to others with relevant information by paraphrasing, evaluating, analyzing, and synthesizing ideas. For reading, it is going to be 10R61L, which is relate to a particular point of view or cultural experience reflected in a work of literature from outside of Puerto Rico, drawing on a wide reading of world literature. Writing, it's going to be the 10W3, which is write literary text to develop real or imagined experiences or events using effective technique, details, and structure. And for language, there's 2, which are 10LA11, which is to demonstrate command of English, grammar, and usage conventions when writing and speaking, and 10LA31, which is apply knowledge of language to understand how it functions in different contexts, to make effective choices in terms of meaning or style, and to comprehend more fully when reading or listening. So my purpose for the unit was for students to be able to explore how cultural expectations and gender expectations impact society and in turn impact their lives. And this is through the close reading of Jamaica Kincaid's short story Girl. So through the reading, there are going to be bridges as specified in the standards relating to world literature, which is Caribbean literature and their own experiences. And at the end of the week, they will produce a creative reflection inspired by Jamaica Kincaid's story, utilizing the voice of someone who gives them advice. So maybe a parent, a teacher, a mentor, a guardian, whoever they identify as a speaker, and then they would be like the listener in that sense. For the demo class, I focus on day 3, but I want to read the objectives of all the days so that we're a little bit more aware of where we are at. So the objective for day 1 is for students to be able to identify, discuss, and share examples of gender and cultural expectations. For day 2 is for them to be able to demonstrate understanding of the text by answering questions that measure text comprehension. In day 3, that is the demo lesson, it's for students to be able to explain how the understanding of the text differs from reading to listening to it. And the objectives, it would be students for day 4, for students to be able to brainstorm ideas about cultural and gender expectations based on the text and their personal experiences. And for day 5 is for students to be able to write a 2 to 3 paragraph long creative reflection inspired by Jamaica Kincaid's text and their personal experiences. So with that, I'm gonna start the demonstration part of the video. Okay, so hello everyone. Okay, so we already finished the roll call and I want everyone to settle down to continue with the class. So start with the class, okay? So We have already started discussing Jamaica Kincaid's Girl, okay? We read it yesterday for the first time. And so today we're going to continue to work with the text, okay? So everyone is supposed to have their copy of the text, right? Okay, so everyone must have their text. It's annotated with yellow and red, right? It can be a color pencil, a highlighter, a pen, whichever you have that is yellow and red, okay? So we marked in yellow every part that is repeated, right? The repetitions, anything that is repeated in the text. And then in red, we highlighted, marked, circled, everything that we don't understand, right? So for yesterday, the homework was to take all the things that we had marked in red, and do a little research, right, on what does that mean, what is the meaning of the word, the phrase, the reference, okay? Yes, perfect. So I want a couple of volunteers to tell me a couple of words that they marked in red and what did they find. Okay, Pena. Okay, so a lot of people had Pena, right? Raise your hand if you search for Pena. Oh, okay, so pretty much everyone. Okay, perfect. So what is Pena? Okay, raising our hands. Okay, so it's a folkloric music from Antigua and Barbuda. Yes, what else? So, because I want to know, what I want to understand is, it says here, and it's in yellow because it's repeated constantly throughout the text, but it's also in red because we don't understand, right? And also, may I add that the first time that Pena is mentioned, it has a note, and it says calypso songs, okay? But one of the phrases that is repeated is it true that you sing Pena in Sunday school? 2 lines after, it says, don't sing Pena in Sunday school. A line after, it says, don't sing Pena on Sundays at all and never in Sunday school. Yeah? So why is it important not to sing Pena on Sundays? Okay, because it's, yes, so the topic of Pena is usually like sort of gossip, local gossip. They're spreading gossip, yeah? Yes, it's sinful. It's a sin. So when they're going on Sundays, we can assume that they're going where? To church. To Sunday school is like church school. A lot of us like catecismo, right? Yeah, exactly. So they don't want, like, the person who's speaking doesn't want them to be singing Pena on Sundays or Sunday school because it is sinful. Yes. Okay. Another word. Wharf rat boys. Yes, what are wharf rat boys? Oh, okay. So they're like the bad boys, right? But why? What do? They beg for money, okay, from tourists. So we have to be, okay, so these are boys who are neglected, who are abandoned, who are runaways, that get this reputation of being bad boys, right? And so what they're saying is, you mustn't speak to wharf rat boys, not even to give directions. So don't speak to them at all. Yes? Yes. Perfect. Okay, so one more. Dashin. What is dashin? Malanga. Precisely, it is that. Dashin is malanga in Antigua, yeah? So it's a root, like a tuber, a vegetable. So it's just saying, so for when you make it, it says, when you are growing dashin, make sure it gets plenty of water or else it makes your throat itch when you are eating it, yeah? Yes. Okay. So for the next part of the class, so I want you to put your text to a side. We're not going to use it right now. We're going to listen to the author, Jamaica Kincaid, read the text 2 times. The first times, I want you to do absolutely nothing with it. Okay, I just want you to listen to the text. Make sure like we're focusing on understanding. Yes. Okay, so I'm going to play the video. Okay?
It's called Girl, and it goes like this.
So for the second part, for the second listen, I want you all to get your blue highlighter, pen, marker, crayon, whatever you have that is blue. And what we're going to do when you were listening to the text, I want you to highlight everything that is emotional to you, that makes you happy, that makes you laugh, that is sad, that you find anxiety inducing, anything that creates like an emotional response, I want you to highlight it in blue, okay? Okay, this is important for what we have to do later. So I'm going to play the video one more time. Everyone must have their blue highlighters. Yes. So let's listen one more time.
It's called Girl, and it goes like this.
Everyone highlighted the parts that they identified as the most emotional, right? So for the next part of the class, I want us all to break down in groups of maybe 3 or 4 students, small groups. And I'm gonna give you some questions. The questions are going to be in the board because if I want them to be there for you to be able to reference. I want everyone, one person in the group, to write down the answer of the group, okay? After we finish discussing and answering the questions, we will have a group discussion on what we responded, okay? These are the questions right here. They're gonna be projected in the back. And so there are 5 questions, okay? 1, who do you think is the speaker? 2, what is the relationship between the speaker and the listener? 3, how would you describe the tone of the speaker? Is it formal or informal? Is it friendly, worried, encouraging, etc.? For this question, I want you to find examples in the texts, okay? Number 4, how does the text make you feel? For this question, I want every participant in the group to say like, Alejandra felt this way, Luis felt the other way, Sandra felt this way, okay? And 5th, what parts of the text were the strongest emotionally, okay? This can lead to some discussion. That's what I want. I want you all to discuss the questions and come up with some answers, okay? Okay, so coming back to it. Okay, who do you think is the speaker? Okay, so you think the speaker is a parent. Okay, because it speaks about the father. Yeah, it does mention the father. It does say, let me see. This is how you iron your father's khaki pants so that they won't have a crease. Yes, who else? A grandmother, interesting, why? Oh, because you think that grandmothers are more conservative, right? With the Sunday school. Yes, absolutely. And so what do you think is the relationship between the listener and the speaker? Definitely an authority figure, yes. Okay, so I want you all to hand in your questions. Okay, and for tomorrow, for homework, I want you all to think of instances in which you have received advice. Who has given you advice? Think of different situations, different people that they have given you advice. It can be a parent, it can be your guardian, it can be a teacher, it can be a coach, a mentor, anyone, right? That gives you advice. I want you to really think about different examples that you can relate to you, okay? And so that concludes my explicit teaching portion of the class. For the end of the class, well, I wanted them to hand in the responses of the questions as well as have a discussion and set up the homework for them to later on in the week be able to write about their experience, right? So the last big assessment of the teaching unit is for them to write 2 to 3 paragraphs of an authority figure giving them advice, right? Like an authority figure as the speaker and them as the listener. And so I want them to start thinking about how this relates to them. And so I think that's it for the course. Well, for this class, the materials were the pencils. They had the handout that was the text printed out. We needed a board for the questions and some sort of speaker or device that's connected to the internet for students to be able to see Jamaica Kincaid reading the text. And that's it. Thank you.